Thanks for making some time for us today, Geoff. First question is a really important one. How are you finding Brisbane?
We're finding it a fantastic place to live and to work. Kathy and I have felt incredibly welcomed. The weather is definitely better than Melbourne. The traffic is better, except maybe Coronation Drive, and we're just having a great time.
Great. And what about UQ? A bit different to Melbourne or some similarities?
Oh look, I think UQ has great similarities to the University of Melbourne, an extraordinary talented group of professional and academic staff who are really doing a great job, connected to an amazing group of key stakeholders and partners within our health services and MRIs, and also fantastic infrastructure. Now some of it's full and some of it needs a little bit more filling, but what an amazing resource to start with.
And anything in particular worrying?
Look, I think we can make the connections a bit stronger. You know, I think there are parts of the faculty and our connections that are not as collaborative as I might like, and I'd like to work on that over the next few years.
Anything that you're looking to change? I know it's only early days.
Well look, I think governance is always an important part of making a faculty or any institution work, and at the moment I am looking at the governance. I'm not proposing major change. I'm expecting that the Faculty Executive Committee will be the place in which we'll make our decisions, but it will be informed by a group of existing committees and some new committees that will allow us to make informed and sensible decisions. I'm particularly interested in how we engage with our Indigenous community and probably also thinking around our international connections.
Great, and that's, I guess, with the goal of improving both teaching and research across the board.
So our mission is in the three core areas, so our teaching mission, our research mission, and our engagement and advocacy, and I think that connects together very well within the faculty.
On that topic of sort of enhancing teaching and research, I understand there's been some updates and some decisions made around the wave one of the strategic plan project.
So the strategic plan has been a great blueprint for me to work with, and the staff, professional and academic, have been working on the individual projects, have done a fantastic job. Those projects came to the executive a couple of weeks ago, and look, essentially we've endorsed the great majority of the decisions that were made by that body. But there are some particular things that I'm really pleased about. The first is the appointment of research facilitators that will be within the org units, that will be fashioned by those org units into the kinds of people that will assist in getting the grants and getting the opportunities we are to do our research. So I think that's a great project. There's been a long discussion about research themes within the faculty. We've identified our strengths within our org units, and I think that's a great thing. Whether they need to be distilled up into a smaller number of faculty themes, I'm not quite so certain, but that's something we'll work on over the next few years. In teaching, we need to value our teachers, and at the moment one of the projects that's going forward is around enhancing skills of those teachers through possibly a clinical teaching module done in collaboration with the university. But we also need to reward our teachers, and there's a program that sits within that as well.
Great, so that's teaching and research. There's also the enabling projects. Is there an update on those two or three?
So there's been considerable change in the way the professional staff have worked within the faculty over the last year. We need to enhance the employee experience within the faculty and also within our connections to the central. So we want to generate new ideas about the way we can simplify, harmonise, optimise our processes within the university. And Mayne Jacoby will be leading a project that will be looking at that and hopefully have some great outcomes.
And outside of those projects, more broadly, is there any general updates for staff?
So we're sitting here in the Mayne Medical Building, and I'm pleased to announce that we will be refurbishing this building over the next 12 months. So on the ground floor, that'll be new executive offices, new spaces for the Office of Medical Education, and a great space above us in which we'll be able to have alumni events and other key events for the faculty associated with the lecture theatre.
And there's a lot of history as we sit here and amongst the museum displays. Is there plans to incorporate that history into the future of the building?
So medical history museums, in my experience, are great and important parts of medical schools. So we need to use the resource of that medical history museum actually a lot more. Perhaps some professional curation of some of the items, catalogues, a connection to our alumni. I think it's a powerful part of our engagement.
It's going to be awesome to see some life breathed back into this old building. Any idea when we might see some changes happening?
Look, I think the work hopefully will begin within the next few months and be completed within about 12 months.
And more broadly, any general updates for the faculty?
So we do have one of the member of the executive who's leaving us sadly. So Professor Sean Emery leaves to go to a very senior role at the University of New South Wales. I'd like to thank Sean for his role over the 18 months. I've not known him terribly long, but he's a man with great passion and intelligence, and I think he's served the faculty incredibly well. And I thank him for that role and wish him the very best for his next incarnation with the University of New South Wales.
Yeah, he'll definitely be missed. And talking about wishing people well and acknowledging great work, we'll have the nominations for Staff Excellence coming up soon. Anything you'd like to say about nominating people around the faculty?
So I would encourage everyone to nominate into these Faculty Excellence Awards. It's important that we acknowledge the great work of our faculty, both professional staff and academic staff. There's a lot to be celebrated, and let's make sure there's lots of nominations.
I think that's a nice note to finish on. Thanks very much, Geoff.